The worst part of writing your first book. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. I'd like to welcome you back to the headquarters for Brian J. Pombo. We've done a lot of these in a lot of different places over the last year and a half or so that we've been doing these videos. One was the Orange Office. It was my previous office that I used to use quite a bit. Don't use that as much anymore. I have another office in town that I use on occasion, one of my clients' offices. Another one of my clients' offices is also nearby. We've done ones out of there. We've done a lot from outside here and there, either here out on the property, on the ranch, or somewhere else, wherever I happen to be for the day. But this is the most easiest place to be able to come back here when you're doing it day after day after day, and you want something consistent, and you want everyone to be able to hear you properly and everything else. I like to keep it simple, so that's why we're here. A little bit of a background. I just recently came out with a book. If you're watching this video and not listening to it, you'll see the address down below. If you are listening to this, that address is AmazonProofBook.com. AmazonProofBook.com. And what it is that's a page you can go to and get a free copy of my book. Now, you can go and look for it on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble or the Apple Store or anywhere else, and you can get yourself a digital copy or a hardback copy. You can go and purchase that. But if you want a free digital copy, go to AmazonProofBook.com. Why am I talking about this? I'm talking about it because I wanted to go through kind of some examples of what I would consider the worst part of writing your first book. And I think for most people, the worst part of writing their first book comes with the actual writing of it. Getting yourself to sit down and write something. For most people, they're not natural writers. Some people are. Some people have a knack for it. Not that you're a natural good writer, but you have a propensity, an enjoyment for sitting down and typing something out or scribbling something out on paper. And that's great. That's great if you have that, and you should keep doing it over and over and over. You should do it on a daily basis. Just write yourself silly. For me, that was a very difficult process. And so I knew it would take me a very long time if I'm going to sit there and write it, because it all goes back to school training of wanting to get it just right and not wanting to have to go over and re-edit it and do all this other stuff. So what I learned how to do from other people that have done it is I said, well, either I've got to do it audibly and be able to talk out my book. Dean Jackson talks about this, about talking out your book. He offers actually a service called 90-Minute Book, where it helps you build a book within 90 minutes. And there's a lot of people out there offering that. Well, when I started doing these vlogs on a daily basis, the Brian J. Pombo Live podcast, when we started doing these, I found that, hey, if I strung enough of these together and I stuck to one topic ahead of time, I could probably get a book somewhere out of that. So that's what I did. I had a series called The 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business, which is the name of the book. And we had a series on that. Each day I did a different way. And each of those separate videos became the basis for a chapter. So all we did was we took those, we took them and had them transcribed. I had a lot of help from a lot of people. The main one was Sean E. Douglas, producer of the podcasts. All the podcasts I put out, Sean is the main man behind the scenes taking care of it. You could read his descriptions of all of these shows that go out. And so he's a very talented person. And he helped me transcribe everything and kind of do a rough edit on it. And then I'd go through and just kind of make it readable. So change things to make them make sense. Anywhere that I misspoke or whatever else, I switched that to make it work. I added in pieces where necessary, but I already had the backbone in place. That's real easy for me to do, is go in and edit something after it's already been done. I have a tough time doing it from scratch, whether it's me or working on somebody else's stuff. So went out, did all that. All that was relatively easy. It's just main thing was just making enough time to do it and making it a priority. That was a little difficult because all of my life is crazy. I've got a million projects going at any given time, so it had to become a priority. So once we made it a priority, That part got done. The toughest thing, all from that point on, is just the fact that it's my first book. And I didn't really know what I was doing. And I wasn't quite sure if what I was doing was the right way of doing it or not. And so there's all that hesitation involved. I wasn't quite sure I didn't even know all the steps. I kind of had to guess at the steps based on what I had heard before and what I had read and what you could read online. And so I went with ingramspark.com to publish it. I didn't completely understand what they needed. So I needed to take it step by step. And during that process, I found out that they had a bug in their new system to where certain things weren't working right. And so I was trying to communicate back with them. This was all during COVID, so they had extremely long wait times to get back to me. And finally worked out all that stuff, focused on it. Every time I'm taken off of task of something, I move on to something else. And so while I'm waiting for something over here, I go over here and spin this plate around. And so it takes a long time to get through all that. If it's your first time through, that doubt is always there. It's not a heavy doubt. It's just a consistent, is this really, am I doing it right? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this, I don't know, and so that's always there. After I've gone through it one time, I'm completely positive I could do it 20 more times, no problem. But going through it that first time, that's the worst part of writing your first book, is just not knowing the next step in the process. I suggest getting somebody to work with you. See, I enjoy kind of being in that frame because it gets me to have a deeper understanding of what's going on. Even if I would do it differently with somebody else or in helping somebody else, I at least have an idea of the process. And I was looking for the minimal way to get it done. And I think I found a pretty good way. If you're ever needing help on something like this, reach out to me. Go to brianjpombo.com and reach out, and I'd be happy to work with you if it seemed like it would work out for both of us. I'd be happy to help you through this process. But find somebody that's done it before, and you might be able to avoid going through the worst part of writing your first book. Hopefully that's helpful to you. Go check out my book. That'll help you out also in the process. AmazonProofBook.com. We'll be back tomorrow. We're back here every day. I'm a business strategist. I help kind of unload these ideas of the principles, strategies, and tactics that help you move forward and really explode your business if that's what you're looking to do. So subscribe, follow, and go check out back shows over at brianjpombo.com. We'll see you next time. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.